Hi guys, this video is a little long overdue, I'm sorry about that, but let's talk about The Hunger Games. I can't get enough of this series. I wish I could go back and reread it for the first time because it is that good. It is that much of a perfect series to read. This series got me out of one of the biggest reading slumps I had in my life. I had been looking for something with romance, but then also a lot of action and adventure. I can't remember what book series I just come out of reading, but it left me in a hangover and I needed something to kind of help that hangover. But this was the perfect series. I read this last summer. Me just getting into books and book talk, booktube and everything. This series helped me get through that slump, and I'm excited about this video because I just want to yap about one of my all-time favorite series ever. So the first book, The Hunger Games. This was one of the best out of the whole series. I love this book so much. The story's just beginning. Katniss, she volunteers for her sister Prim in this book, and then Peeta gets raped too. Most of you know the story. If not, if you don't know the books, you've seen the movies probably, but the book is so much better than the movies. The movies were amazing, but I believe that the books were so much better. They told the story better. I read the book first before watching the movie, and I just knew throughout watching the whole movie oh, this is gonna happen next, and I love that, knowing what's gonna happen in movies sometimes, because I read the book. It's just one of my favorite things. But this book was so good. I love the relationship between Katniss and Peeta. They're just one of the sweetest couples ever. It was so sweet to watch. Haymitch is probably one of my favorite characters. Just he's the mentor, and he's perfect. I just love how he calls Katniss sweetheart and everything. It's just perfection. This book was perfection. Catching Fire, the best book in the whole series. It's a popular opinion, I know that, but I couldn't put this down. I had to get this book. I had to keep reading. I think I finished it within a week, and I was just starting to get into fast reading and everything. But this was the best out of the series. The romance between Katniss and Peeta was amazing. Finnick, I love Finnick, of course. Who doesn't? But it was funny all around. Action, adventure. You got the romance, of course. It was a good book. The ending left me with my mouth hanging open and everything. I was quite shocked, but it was a great book. I also read this before I watched the movie. The movie was also my favorite out of the whole movie series and everything. It was just the book and the movie itself, perfection, more than the first one, of course. The story is right in the middle, and it's just perfect. Suzanne Collins wrote the perfect sequel to this series. With this book, it was just absolutely amazing. The Mockingjay. I know there's a lot of opinions about this book being a huge letdown and everything, which I can see. But I loved it. I loved it anyway. I see what they say about the ending being too quick and everything, and just some of the things being too slow, which I get that. There were certain chapters where I'm okay, when is this ever gonna end? But it was still amazing. I love when they're storming the Capitol and everything, trying to hunt down President Snow, and Finnick's ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 76th Hunger Games and stuff like that. It was a great book. I cried in this book a good amount. Trying to decide if I should do spoilers or not. I think I'll do spoilers. Prim and Finnick. No. Finnick was one of my favorites, and I loved Prim. It was just so sad. This book was heartbreaking. Yeah, that's what I have to say about this book. Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes. I was not impressed. Not with this book. This book was long. It was I don't know. I just didn't like it. I loved Lucy Gray in it. She was the best part of this book, but I had watched the movie before I read this book, because this one took me a while to read. And I don't know, it wasn't the best. I see some people say it's like their favorite, but like I don't get why really. But like I don't really care if it's your favorite or not, but it just wasn't my favorite. I wish there was a little more to it. I wish it was more fast-paced, honestly. It was cool going back in time and seeing, like, what the 10th Hunger Games was like. Seeing young President Snow, which I don't like him at all. Hate him. But anyway, it was a good book. Took me about, I would say, a month and a half to 2 months to read, just because it was so slow read for me. But it was still good. I was trying to, like, power my way through this so I could read the next one. But yeah, I wasn't impressed. I wish it could have been done better, but it was still a good, part to this series. And finally, Sunrise on the Reaping. I cannot explain in words how heartbreaking and gut-wrenching this book was. I sobbed, like, uncontrollably with this book. It was, yeah, I can't even explain it. Like, I'm crying at 3 a.m. in the morning over Ampert and Maisley, and especially Lenore Dove. Like, I don't know how somebody could write something so heartbreaking. Like this, yeah, my heart was torn out of my chest, thrown on the ground, and then, like, trampled on by horses. It was something, but it was still probably my second favorite in the series. Like, I feel like I have to cry in order for me to, like, love a book. Like, have to cry, have to, like, giggle, kick my feet, whatever. But this one, it's one of my all-time favorite books. But it's heartbreaking. Like, I don't know if anybody else is out there with me, but definitely something else. And, like, just the way that they treated Haymitch, and, like, it was an emotional roller coaster. And I couldn't put it down. I finished it within 2 weeks probably. But it was absolutely nuts. And I know that the movie coming out in November is going to be just as heartbreaking. I'm watching the trailer and I'm seeing all these scenes, and there, like, you see, like, the little glimpse of the Capitol parade, and, like, where Luella dies and then is replaced by Lulu. And I'm just, like, watching this trailer and I'm like gasping, and I'm like, oh no, that's what that scene is, this is gonna happen. And yeah, I'm excited for it, but I'm also fully dreading it, and I will need I'll need all the time I can have to prepare for the movie adaptation of this book. Overall, this is my favorite series. I feel like I keep saying that. I can't say it enough, probably, because one of my absolute favorite series. I recommend this for anyone. Probably age rating, I'd probably say 12 and up. Of course, if you're good with violence, there's nothing else really inappropriate. Just violence, and some disturbing themes, I would say. But other than that, it's amazing. I don't care if you're a boy or a girl or whatever. Like, you need to read this series if you love books, if you love literature and everything. It's just one of the most perfect series ever written, and I highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching.